Welcome to the $1,000 game plan for fitness instructors. Most fitness instructors think that to make money, they need to do more. More classes, more students, more followers, more certifications. And that's going to work up until a point. For most instructors, they kind of hit a wall once they're making $1,000 to $2,000 per month. When that happens, more classes, more students, more certifications gives you a little bit more income, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Today, I'm going to show you a way simpler way to make $1,000 without teaching more classes, without getting more students, and without thousands of followers. If you're a fitness instructor and you teach at a gym or you're renting space, you can do this. If you're teaching in-person or virtual classes, you can do this. If you're teaching one format or multiple formats, you can do this. If you're a studio owner or a personal trainer or a fitness or wellness coach, you can do this too. Pen and paper, because we're going to need it. There's 3 steps to figuring out how to make $1,000 as a fitness instructor. Step 1 is to set a goal. We can't really make more money if we really don't know how much money you're going to make. So it needs to be a very specific goal. Now, I've been trying to make dance and fitness my full-time thing for 20 years. I've been dancing for 30 years. I've been teaching it for 20. I started teaching ballet, jazz, hip hop, contemporary. Once I became a mom, I got into Zumba, aqua, cycle. I've taught kids, teens, seniors. I taught at a gym, at a club, private classes, at a high school, at a college, online. Even when I was 28 weeks pregnant, I was still teaching. So I taught a lot of classes and I wasn't even close to making full-time income. One day my husband asked, "When are you getting a real job?" Oh yeah, I actually have a business degree that I wasn't using because I was having way too much fun using my dance degree. But my dance degree wasn't making us a lot of money. Now the real question was, how are we going to afford college for 3 kids with just his income? Because my income wasn't really income. It was just kind of extra cash. This was the moment that I had to start thinking big. If I wanted to help my family, as in I have 3 kids, right? As in saving for college for 3 kids, I didn't need to make an extra $50 or an extra $100. I needed to think bigger. I needed to make an extra $10,000. Now, $10,000 was daunting, okay? So I figured if I could make an extra $1,000 per month for 10 months, then I would be able to reach my goal. Now, maybe you've never thought about how much money you want to make per month, which is okay. You can create your own goal, or you can borrow my goal of making $1,000 per month every month for the next 10 months. Or maybe you already have a goal in mind and it's a little bit smaller or way bigger than mine. The point is that if you want to make money as a fitness instructor, you need to set a target. We need to know specifically how much do you want to make per month so that we can start working towards that. Step number 2 is, how do we get there? Once you've set your monthly goal, and for me, that was an extra $1,000 per month, then now we need to figure out what's the fastest way to get there. Because you probably needed money yesterday. At least that was the case for me. This is where we do what I call fitness math. Now, it's not very sexy, but it is very revealing because math doesn't care about our feelings. Often instructors don't like to think about numbers or profit or money because they feel that it takes away from genuinely wanting to help people. But you can't help people if you're broke. If you're not making enough money to stay in business, then you will be out of business and now you're not helping anyone. So let's run the numbers for fitness math. Once you know what your goal is, $1,000, we're going to brainstorm some ideas of what you can do to get there. One option is to teach classes at a gym. This is where I started. So I was teaching classes at a gym and I was paid $20 per class. That means that if I wanted to make an extra $1,000, I needed to teach an extra 50 classes per month. That's 12 classes per week on top of the 5 classes that I was already teaching. So that's 17 classes per week. Now, I'm a mom of 3. I could not teach 17 classes per week. So that option was not the best option. And what was scary is that was just to make 1,000. If I needed to make 2,000 per month, then I needed to teach 34 classes per week, which is impossible. If I needed to make $3,000 per month, I needed to teach. It's not doable. Now, if you're teaching at a gym, do your fitness math. Take $1,000 divided by how much you get paid per class, and that's how many classes you need to teach per month. Then divide that by 4, and that's how many classes you need to teach per week on top of what you're already teaching. Is that doable for you? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Now, if you wanted to make $2,000, is that doable? How about $3,000? The next option is teaching classes if you rent space. So let's say you have a drop-in of $20, which a $20 drop-in is pretty high. To do the fitness math, you will need to divide $1,000 divided by the $20 or whatever is your drop-in, and that tells you how many drop-ins per month you need to get to that $1,000. Now you need to ask yourself, is that doable? Are you keeping track of your drop-ins? Do you know how many drop-ins is normal for you on any given month? If you needed to make 2,000 or 3,000, is that doable for you? Now, there's no right or wrong answer. This is why we're doing math. Math doesn't care about emotions. We're just running the numbers. Another option is to do classes when you're running a membership or a punch card. If you have a membership or a punch card, you probably also have drop-ins, but the majority of your people are not drop-in people. The majority of your people are either the punch card or the membership. So we're going to run our numbers based on that. I need to interject. Punch cards are good if you're starting out. If you've never kind of charged for your services or charged for your classes before and you're just kind of, dipping your toes on it, then start with a punch card. That's fine. However, a punch card is not a very healthy, sustainable business model. I have interviewed hundreds of fitness instructors, and I'm very curious about their behind the scenes of the money side of their fitness. And what I learned is that the instructors who survived COVID, the independent instructors who are still making money during COVID, the fitness studios that were still left standing after COVID, they all had one thing in common. And that is that they based their business on a membership. They had a membership model. So if you've been doing punch cards, that's okay for a little bit, but think about transitioning into a membership because that's going to help you have a healthy business model and stay in business longer so that you can keep helping people and providing your service. If you already have a membership, then yay! Pat yourself on the back. You're on the right track. Now, a healthy membership is somewhere around $50 per month. So take your $1,000 divided by $50, which is your membership. That means you need 20 students per month to make an extra $1,000. Now, 20 students per month is actually kind of doable. Okay, that's not a crazy number. This is why a lot of fitness instructors stayed in business after COVID and a lot of studios stay in business after COVID because that's doable. Now, if you wanted to make $2,000, well, that's 40 students. That's still in the doable space. Now, if you want to make $5,000, now you need 100 students. Now we're getting back into the that's not really possible or it's a super challenging space. This is why instructors get stuck because 20, 40, even 50 students is somewhat doable. But now going over 50 students, that's really challenging. So that means that the income that you can produce is limited. Now, whether you're doing in-person classes or virtual classes, the math is the same because they're still just classes. All of that is just one product. Whether you're teaching this at a gym or a studio, whether you are independent or a studio owner, whether they're in-person or online, whether they're indoors or outdoors, whether you're charging a drop-in or a membership or a punch card or you get paid, they're all just one product, which is classes. Back when I was doing my own fitness math, I very quickly realized that classes ain't gonna cut it. With 3 kids, I needed something more hands-off. Also, something more premium, because I was learning that the lower that you charge, the more people or the more classes that you need to have. So charge less, you need lots of volume. I wanted to charge more and have less volume. I wanted something that was premium so that I don't have to obsess over having 50 students because my prices are just too low. So I wanted something hands-off, premium, and something that could pay me even when I'm not teaching. So like if I'm sick or I'm injured or on vacation, that's okay because I still get paid. That's where I got the idea of creating my own program. Now, this was before COVID. So creating a program was not really a thing back then. But I heard about the concept and about having something online, pre-recorded. So I started running the numbers. If I had a program and I charged $300 for that program, I just needed four students to take that program and I would make $1,000. Not 100, not 50, not even the 20 from memberships, just four. Now, I had no idea what the program was going to be about, how to build it, how to deliver it. Like, I didn't know any of that, but that's okay. I would figure that out later. For now, I just needed to know what was the fastest way to get to 1,000. And 4 students was definitely the fastest way to get to 1,000. And if I make this program online, then I don't even have to add classes to my schedule because everything is pre-recorded. So it's very Mobby friendly. Now, if I needed to make $2,000, then I need 8 clients. That's also doable. If I needed to make an extra $5,000, I needed 17 students, which is still less than the 20 that I would have to have for a membership. I mean, think about it. Somebody else could have 20 people in their classes and charge $50 for their membership, and I would still be making more than twice than them online sitting at my house. Like, that's insane. I did start hitting $3,000 months and $5,000 months and $10,000 months with just one program. So your job for step 2 is to figure out how are you going to make your $1,000, whether it's by more classes or more students or a punch card or membership or to create a program. Once you chose how, the next step is to create a plan to actually get you there. Step 3 is the plan. So once you figure out what's your goal, how you're going to get there, the next step is to figure out a plan to actually get there. Now, there's only 3 outcomes. Either you decided that you needed more classes and you know exactly how many classes you need to teach per week to achieve your goal, or you decided that you needed more students and you know exactly how many students you need to achieve your monthly goal, or you decided to explore a program. And maybe you don't know what your program is going to be and there's a lot of questions in the air, that's okay, but you can see that that's the fastest way for you to make $1,000. If you decided to reach your goal by teaching more classes, then go for it. Ask your boss for more classes, get certified in more formats so that you can ask your boss for more classes, explore teaching at other locations. If you're renting space or you're a studio owner, open more classes, like fill up your schedule. If you decided that what you need are more students and you now know exactly how many students per month you need, then you need marketing skills. People won't join your class if they don't know, like, and trust you, so you need to promote. The days where you can fill up a class by just word of mouth and printing some flyers are long gone. I've helped fitness instructors double and triple their fitness classes by promoting on Facebook. If you want to know more about that, just send me a message saying, help me grow my classes. We'll do a quick assessment to kind of figure out where you're at with that. If you know that even if you double your classes or triple your classes, you still wouldn't reach your goal, then you need boss skills. For years, I helped instructors double their classes, triple their classes. Some of them even quadrupled their classes. As we were growing their classes, I learned that they were still stuck in the job that they hated, or they were still doing Uber as a side job, or they were just exhausted from teaching so many classes because more classes, more students was giving them extra cash, but that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to pay real life bills, like saving for college for 3 kids, or repairing the car, or doing home repairs, or travel, or retire, or pay the damn credit card. If this is you, then you need something more premium than just classes. Classes are great, but you need a second income stream. Now, I help instructors make their first $1,000 online in just 30 days following my 5-step secret launch system. If you want to know more about that, send me a message saying, help me make 1K, and I'll send you part 2 of this series where I walk you through that step-by-step system. If you have any questions, let me know. I promise I don't bite. Bye.